You know, some coaches are conservative. And conservative when they get a big lead. Here's the thing. I believe when Kevin Stefanski was forced to coach from his basement, I believe that's the best thing that happened to him. And I'm going to tell you why. Very simple. He watched the game as a fan. He said it was excruciating. I'll guarantee when Pittsburgh cut the lead to 12 points, and he's seeing how we were going run, pass. He was probably sitting there saying, "What the fuck?" like I do. And I think watching the game as a fan's perspective, he's probably thinking to himself, you know what? We got to keep the foot on the pedal. Because when we played Tennessee, we were 35-7 at halftime, something to that matter. And we only scored, I think they outscored us like 28-3 in the second. We didn't do nothing in the second half. He was conservative. And thank God for Alex Van Pelt finally saying, you know, I got to open this game up a little bit and start. Because, I mean, the Browns are head and shoulders above Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a bad team right now. They are. Pittsburgh's soft. You know what? Your team takes on the mantra of your coach. Pittsburgh's very soft. They used to be a physical team years ago. They're very soft now. Very soft and like just clowns. They take on the mantra, and that's Mike Tomlin. Soft. You ever see Tomlin? He looks like a slob now. So they're soft like their coach. Cleveland, if you look at Kevin Stefanski, they have the same mantra. All business-like, and the players love them. Boy, did the Browns get it right this time. They love them. And they're just all business-like, and they're professionals. And Pittsburgh needs a coaching change. It's not going to happen because the Roonies don't do that, but they need a coaching change bad. But what I was getting to is I think Stefanski realizes now, says, you know what? I'm going to open it up now. That's what he's going to do. You get a lead, you can't sit on it. The Patriots didn't sit on it. You don't sit on it. So that is the best thing that happened to Stefanski. And I will say this. I wish Stefanski would have had a camera inserted into his fucking room so he could have filmed himself watching the game, and then like 10 years from now, he could have sold that. I would have loved to watch Stefanski, NFL coach of his team, watching his team. I would have loved to watch his reaction, what he did. That would have been great. That would have been great fucking TV. I should do it with me, because when I watch a game, I go through so many different fucking emotions. And sometimes as a Browns fan, it's almost better to be behind. It sounds kind of strange, but when you have a huge lead, it's great. But when you start getting conservative, it's frustrating. But anyway, now I want to get to Jonathan W. Dorsey. Let's give Jonathan Dorsey a lot of credit for what happened in Cleveland. Because when we had these clowns in Cleveland before that knew nothing about football, they were drafting horrible players. Jonathan Dorsey came out of it. We took Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb, Denzel Ward. That was key. Now, he had some misses. Antonio Callaway played great for us his rookie year, but he's a dopehead. Austin Reuter, I think it was, or Corbett, one of the guys. I thought Dorsey got some good players here. Now, that being said, his problem was hiring Freddie Kitchens. And I told you why he hired Freddie Kitchens, because he wanted a puppet. So, Dorsey did bring some talent here, but the key acquisition Dorsey made is Jarvis Landry. He changed Jarvis Landry. Look, Baker Mayfield's great. Me personally, I would have took Josh Allen, but I love Baker Mayfield. He's a beast. The key acquisition, though, was Jarvis Landry. He came here, and he changed the whole culture of this team. He did. He came here. Jarvis Landry, I don't care. People say he's not a number one. He's a number one possession receiver. That's what he is. He's not the speedster that Odell is, but I like him better than Odell because only problem I have with him is sometimes he lets his emotions get the better of him. Like he took a swing at Spillane the other day, man. That could have cost us. He got to be smarter. And he does and he used to drop balls earlier this season that pissed me off. He blew the Raiders game, but whatever. But I love his mentality, his intensity, and he holds people accountable. That was a big acquisition. And, you know, Jarvis loves it here. And Jarvis Landry is a fucking stud. He is a stud. He's a number one receiver. He's hard to guard. He's hard to tackle. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but he gives it his all every time. He's just a beast. And he's a key player on his Browns team. Baker Mayfield, unbelievable. The guy is like an old school player. And I hate this notion that these former players all have, well, you can't put it all in Baker's hand. No, you can. Baker, look, he threw 53 passes against the Jets, right, with no interceptions, to receivers that he never worked with before. Should have threw about 6 interceptions that game, but he didn't throw any. The guy has cleaned his game up. It's unbelievable. He can win a game. Trust me. I don't know why these guys. I think they just hate him, and I think they seem to be all the former players that say this are like Steve Smith, Brandon Marshall. I believe that they don't like Mayfield because they look at him as a spoiled, rich white kid who humiliated Hugh Jackson, and I think they think he's racist. I think this is what I think. That they hate him because he's a white guy and he just punked a black guy, Hugh Jackson, which wasn't right, but whatever. Because, I mean, you can't tell me that Mayfield, I mean, look what he did in college. He can do it. He can do it in the pros. I mean, it's not like, I don't know whether his arm's not good enough. Mayfield's got a cannon. So these guys are just jealous because Mayfield, what's up, bro? Because Mayfield's done, I mean, let's be honest about it right now. Steve Smith, Mayfield right now has achieved more than you ever did in your career. Brandon Marshall, the same thing. Mayfield took his team, which was 1-31 the previous 2 years. I mean, they were a laughing stock of the league. Now we're in the divisional playoffs. Think about it. So you guys are mad because this guy has such a meteoric rise to greatness. And you guys can't handle it. Steve Smith, I don't even know if you're a Hall of Famer or not. I could care less if you are. But Mayfield he's done more in his career than you ever done. I'm sorry you had some great playoff games, whatever. But, I mean, could you take a team like the Browns to the playoffs, third year in the league, with 4 different coaches and 3 different offenses? No, you couldn't. So you guys need to get over it. Brandon Marshall's just another story. He's a clown. I mean, he looks like don't even get me started on him. This guy could play for like 8 fucking teams because no one liked him. Other than that, Mayfield's a stud. And so John Dorsey did his part. And I will remind you of this. John Dorsey drafted Patrice Mahomes and Baker Mayfield. Let that sink in. 2 great quarterbacks. John Dorsey also drafted Kareem Hunt, I think Tyreek Hill. So, I mean, he did great for both franchises. So I don't want people to sit there and say, oh, John Dorsey. The only thing he did bad in Cleveland, there were a few things, but the worst thing he did was try to be too buddy-buddy with his players, like Mike Tomlin. And he allowed Jarvis Landry to talk him into making a trade because, boy, Jabril Peppers was a special player, in my opinion, and we didn't need Beckham. And he allowed him to talk him into that trade. And Freddie Kitchens' hiring was the worst hiring we could have ever made. That was his. I guess we could have hired Stefanski a year earlier, and Depot Testa wanted them, but Dorsey didn't. So we could just imagine having Depot Testa and Baker Mayfield's second year instead of Freddie Kitchens, and Mayfield would probably have 40 TDs. He'd probably have I believe when it's all said and done, this is my opinion, and I think my factinians always come out to be factinians. I believe when it's said and done, I think Baker Mayfield, I used to think he was like a Brett Favre, but I think Baker Mayfield now is going to be like Aaron Rodgers. I think that's what he's going to be like. I'm not going to say he's going to be better. I just think he's going to be that type of quarterback. I mean, I believe that's what he is, the next Aaron Rodgers type quarterback. And I think everyone out there watching is going to have to agree with me. The guy's a stud. And I know football. I could coach any team out there. You give me a squad right now, and I can have them. I could have took the Browns from 0-16 to a Super Bowl in 2 or 3 years. I know I could have because I'm that good. I'm that talented. I'm that good with everything I do. My evaluation skills. So anyway, yeah, I'm that good. But anyway, I do believe Aaron Rodgers and Baker Mayfield are basically the same player when it comes down to it. I think after the careers are over, so you're gonna have your choice. Who do you want? Baker Mayfield, Aaron Rodgers. You know. Other than that, the Steelers suck. You guys are done until you get rid of Tomlin. You got to get rid of Tomlin. I can't believe it. That's one thing about the Steelers organization. I've seen a statistic that Mike Tomlin, and, does anyone think Mike McCarthy's a good coach? He's horrible, right? Well, he actually has the same basic record as Mike Tomlin, except he's won a Super Bowl more recently and has a better playoff record than Mike Tomlin. I mean, it's embarrassing. But Mike Tomlin is considered elite, and Mike McCarthy is considered terrible, so go figure. But anyway, I think we're going to shock the world again this week. And I do believe in next year when we fix our defense, look out. Look the fuck out. Anyway, that's what you call great coaching, when you can go into all these backups, no practice. That's a well-coached machine right there. So this is a great video by me. Boy, my videos are great. You know it too. Anyway, I got to go.